Festival of the Lost is now in full swing, and if you're enjoying it, then all power to you, because I honestly can't get on with it. I think that's just fatigue over 3 years of playing the same event, but I could be completely wrong. But nevertheless, I'm going to talk about the weapons that are in Festival of the Lost and pretty much go over the roles that I'd want to get if I was actually going for the guns, because of course I am not that interested in getting these weapons. I have much better alternatives that I can use, even though some of the roles on them are pretty good. So if I was going to grind Festival of the Lost, these would be the roles that I'd go for, and I'm going to start with the Acosmic. The Acosmic is a 150 RPM grenade launcher with 5 in the magazine to start with a base. Starting with the launch, I'm actually going to go for volatile launch just because it's better blast radius. I'm going to be completely honest, the actual launch barrel does not really matter that much. You can use a variety of different ones. It's not that important. However, from here on out, it is important. So, for example, you start with the magazine itself. You can have things like alloy casing, which will just increase your reload speed. But then you also have augmented drum, which will greatly increase the magazine size to a 7, which is a viable option for this. But a popular choice, of course, is spike grenades, because it gives you 50% extra impact damage, which is normally worth the trade-off. However, if you wanted a grenade launcher with a stupid amount of grenades in the magazine, then I would not blame you. Because speaking of that, we have Clown Cartridge, which is notorious for basically being the master of reloading silly amounts of ammo into anything. So with just Clown Cartridge and the basic magazine, you can load up to 7 different grenades into the grenade launcher. But if you were then using augmented drum, you could probably load 10 grenades into the grenade launcher. Moving on to the last column, there is actually 2 different options that you could go for here. You could either go for destabilizing rounds, which basically final blows will turn anything volatile, which is really good for void builds. The other alternative is explosive light, which gives you a nice little damage boost every time you pick up another power. It's always a good one for grenade launchers. Next one up is the Mechabre sniper rifle, and this one is a hot favorite from last year. If you did miss it out on last year, then this is your chance to get it. And the main reason for that is not only does it kick out a ton of damage, it has some very interesting perk combinations. But much like my opinion on the heavy grenade launcher, the barrel to me does not matter. So literally throw on whatever one you got. Now here's where it gets interesting, because you need to decide what kind of sniper rifle you want to build. If it wants to be a crucible one, then you're not going to go for certain perks, and likewise for the PvE side. So if you were going for PvP, I could say accurized rounds. It's always a favorite for PvP players because of the range bonus. Then you can switch on snapshot sights, which is again a hot favorite for PvP. It's always good to get a quick aim down on a sniper. And then there is opening shot, which of course is a hot favorite for PvP players as well. It is a very good combination sniper, but now I'm going to go over the PvE role, which is the one I would go for. Arrowhead break can stay on because, again, I don't really care for the barrel. It is just there for me. But I will put the appended mag on as the magazine instead this time round. And the only reason for that is so I can have 4 in the magazine, which is going to make things a bit more helpful. Now, the next major choice is basically going to be, am I going to be using this for boss damage or for major ad control? If it's major ad control, then I'm going to be looking at Clown Cartridge because I'm going to be reloading a lot more often, and precision shots might not come at that often. On top of this, I would also have Volt Shot, because Volt Shot is just amazing when it comes to clearing out ads. So if I'm actually using the sniper to bust majors, it will take out the ads surrounding it as well. If I'm using this for boss damage, however, I am then swapping to triple tap and also high impact reserved. And this is why I want 4 in the magazine. So if I get 3 precision shots, not only do I get 1 back in the magazine because of triple tap, as soon as I have 2 rounds in the magazine, I will then go into high impact reserves as well, which does an extra 25% damage, which is going to be very nice indeed. But that's it for the Mechabre. Let's move on to the Jurassic Green pulse rifle. Again, this is kind of a popular weapon, but for me, peace of mind is always going to be the best one for me when it comes to pulse rifles. Not to mention I have no time to explain as well, so the pulse rifle division for me is very nice at the moment. But something to note is that this one is a 540, so it fires very fast indeed. So again, with the barrel, I'm not entirely interested in it. The popular one is Arrowhead Break yet again, so I'm just going to put that on. And in the second column, regardless if you're going for PvP or PvE, I would highly recommend putting accurized rounds on for this, because the range isn't that good. So the first perk on this weapon I'd use is Heal Clip, and that is just literally because you're more than likely going to be using this in high-end PvE content because you have to, or in the Crucible. And having a weapon with primary ammo that deals a decent amount of damage, being able to heal your teammates as well, is always going to be a bonus. So this is where the opinion splits a bit. If you're going for a PvP role, I'd probably say go for Head Seeker, and that is literally because you can quickly amplify your precision damage if you're aiming for body shots. It's very easy for the recoil to carry the weapon up, so you will hit them with a headshot anyway. For the PvE side, Incandescent is also a favorite. Of course, you can use this in PvP if you want to. I just personally think this perk is a lot better off in PvE, as opposed to PvP. And finally, we have the horror story, which is a 450 RPM stasis auto rifle. For me personally, I have other rifles that can do the job better. So I have Rufus Fury, for example, which is an adept. So I'll always tend to use that over every other auto rifle. But nevertheless, let's go over the perks that I would go for if I were to go for this. Much like the rest of the video, I don't care about the barrel. I'm just going to arrow break for the popularity. For the range, I would go accurized rounds yet again, because the range does matter for auto rifles. Alternatively, if you wanted a huge magazine, there is a potential to do this. So if you want to use extended mag, go for it. So depending on what kind of magazine you picked, if you went for accurized rounds like I did, I'd be going for Demolitionist, because Demolitionist will give you grenade launching with every kill, and you're probably going to be killing general adds with this. However, if you were going for the extended mag version, then go for Envious Assassin. That is literally just because if you kill enemies with another weapon, then it will build up the magazine whilst this is sitting in the back. So just to do the math hypothetically, I've got extended mag on and also backup mag, because let's face it, if you're going for a really big magazine, backup mag is a go-to. This means Envious Assassin can take your magazine all the way up to 108, which is a bit crazy for an auto rifle. And of course, if you went down that route of having the massive magazine, target lock would be ideal for you, because then you're just going to do a lot of damage and it will have a huge magazine to go through. On the flip side, however, if you're using a normal roll, I'm actually going against the grain. I wouldn't go for target lock, because for me, target lock is for weapons with huge magazines that can just burst out a lot of damage at once. So having it on an auto rifle with 32 rounds in the magazine as standard does not make much sense to me. Two alternatives I would actually go for would actually be Frenzy, because Frenzy is always really good for ad clear as it is in general. But then on top of that, there is also Adrenaline Junkie. Let's make use of the Demolitionist, because as you're getting kills, you'll get grenade energy. Using those grenades to kill more enemies will actually buff your damage for the horror story, which then makes it a nice little loop to go around in, and you can actually do a lot of ad clear by doing that. But that is all 4 weapons from Festival of the Lost, so that's the rolls I'd go for if I were to grind for them. But that is pretty much where I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to leave a like and a comment down below, and I shall see you all in the next one.